Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome, as always, to our coffee times to discuss horror books. And today, because we are still in June, it is still Pride month and I've been busy and I have not been able to put this video together. But before the month ends, I'm here to recommend you some queer horror authors.
It's coffee time!
So in this video I have 7 queer authors that I would like to recommend you. I know there's many other ones, but maybe I'll make another video with other authors as well. But I wanted to do something related to Pride Month, which is already leaving us so quickly. It feels like it just flew by. And I have actually been reading some queer romance books this month because I've just been like, you know, in love with all the new people fan base of Heartstopper, and it is really infectious. First of all, I would like to let you know that I am okay. I have still not lost my sanity, I hope, but I might have watched Heartstopper on Netflix somewhere between 20 and 30 times complete. I wish I was kind of joking. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. You know, when Heartstopper, the first graphic novel, came out, I saw it on someone's video on BookTube and I decided to pick it up because back then I was really into getting new graphic novels because I was not reading so much in that format. And I read that first volume and it was just so wholesome. It was just so good and I loved it so much. Obviously, I kept collecting the volumes and I've been rereading them through the years because they're such a comfort read for me. It's just such a good and positive love story, and every sexuality in the book, in the graphic novels, it's just like so positive, like represented, that it is just so wholesome. So when Netflix came out with the show, I was really excited, scared as well, but I knew that Alice Oseman was an executive producer, so I knew that she was gonna have a lot to say. And the show is perfection. It is absolutely perfect. There's so many frames and lines that are like exactly like in a graphic novel, and it brings me so much joy. And that might be the case why I have watched it from 20 to 30 times complete. I'm okay, I promise. So obviously there are some queer authors like Alice Oseman that are not horror writers. You know, also V. Schwab or Adam Silvera are authors that I really like to read. But I wanted to make this list specifically based on horror writers. Let's start talking about Billy Martin, that it is professionally known as Poppy Z. Bride. This American author started publishing like novellas and short horror stories in the early 1990s, and they were kind of like horror gothic, and that's where he got basically a little bit more known for, specifically for one of his first novels that was about vampires. He has now moved on a little bit from the gothic literature and writes also some dark comedy, and a lot of his books are based in New Orleans, which is a setting that I always enjoy to see in the books. And most of his books portray openly gay and bisexual characters. So the book that I would recommend you, it is basically one of his, I guess, more well-known ones, which is Lost Souls, which is his first novel, which was about vampires. It is very different from his recent books, so if you go into it, just know that I think he wrote this one when he was 19, and you know, you are in different stages on your life. We basically have a club and different gangs of vampires, new vampires, older vampires, you kind of know the drill. But this one is very specific, explicit, I should say, when it comes to sex and drugs and violence and gore and blood and all of those good things. It's more kind of a trippy one, I guess. It's very intense, but if you would like to check the author and you like vampires, maybe try this one. If you're more into dark humor, maybe check one of his newer books. But whichever book you pick to read by him, or you know, if you read one of his stories on a short horror compilation, I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. Next, I would like to talk about an author that I know a lot of people have been enjoying her memoir, and that is Carmen Maria Machado. And this is perhaps not 100% horror, but it is one of the categories for this story, and I know it's a really dark story, and I know so many people have enjoyed it. This American author writes short stories essays, and she's also a critic. And one of her recent novels was basically her own memoir. It is called In the Dream House, and she talks about all of the abuse and everything that she had to go through when she was younger. So there's a lot of trigger warnings for this one, and it does get really dark. She uses some classic horror themes in order to tell her story, and it is the story about an abusive relationship of the same sex. So if you go into it, you know, please make sure that it's safe for you, and yeah, if it's something that you're comfortable with reading from this one, everybody that has read it so far has really enjoyed it. Now we're going to talk about Mary Grant, also known as Shannon Maguire, and most of you probably know her from, you know, the Wayward Children book series, because that one is very popular, and it's one that I've also been collecting because I really enjoy those stories. But she has also written some paranormal books. She has some series of paranormal horror, and she has a horror book that I've been meaning to pick up and read for the longest time. So, you know, this is also calling myself out because I still have not checked it out. And that is Into the Drowning Deep. I've heard amazing things about this, and I usually like everything by Shannon Maguire because everything I have picked up by her, I have enjoyed it. When people started picking up this book some time ago, I was like, I need to buy it. I almost purchased it a couple of times, but I have been now trying to get the hardcover edition, which is really hard to find, so I guess that's my excuse for not having picked it up yet. But I might just buy the paperback and, you know, read it because I really want to. Maybe even for this summer, because all that I know is that it is about mermaids, and those mermaids are not too nice. So this might be actually a perfect read for summer, so I might pick it up. Maybe I'll pick it up from my Kindle, like, and try to get a hardcover later. But yeah, this one is one that it is also on my wish list. The next author, you guys are gonna kill me because I'm always talking about him, and he goes by the pronouns he, them, and I've been following him on Twitter for a long time, and I've been following up his works since the very beginning, and I've always enjoyed his books. He has been writing short stories and horror novellas, so you probably know who I'm talking about, and that is Eric LaRocca. So this is so far my collection of paperbacks, and I am currently waiting for We Can Never Leave This Place. I have it pre-ordered, and by the time I'm recording this video, it's coming out officially tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna have to wait one more week for Amazon to deliver it to me, but it's gonna come to the Eric LaRocca collection. He's been so kind to me because I could not find a paperback of this book anymore. I had it on my Kindle, but I wanted a paperback for the collection, and he was so kind enough to send it to me all the way from the States. So I really appreciate it, and you know, he has reinvented horror in a way for me, and the way that his characters are so different. The stories are almost too real, but at the same time it feels like such an incredible, impossible nightmare. It's just like that combination that just, you know, does it for me. Yeah, so if you are looking for different horror with queer characters, with things that are gonna give you extreme nightmares, with disturbing scenes, with some gore and some twists and turns that you're not gonna see coming, please do check his books out. I know that some of you guys have been trying to pick up Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca, and it is currently sold out, I believe, the paperback, but they are releasing this one again, I think in September, in a hardback, because I already have it on my Amazon wish list. Am I gonna repurchase it again? Yes. It comes with some extra tales, so it has bonus content that I don't have, so you know, that works for me as an excuse to pick it up again. But I think it's coming out in September, so watch out for that. But if you want to pick up some books by him that are currently available, I can recommend you to pick up You've Lost a Lot of Blood. This one was released not long ago, and it's available, I believe, everywhere. And then We Can Never Leave This Place, that is going to be released tomorrow, so you can also go ahead and get that one. They're both amazing. I've read both of them, and yeah, I can just not recommend him enough. You're gonna get so tired of me talking about Eric. I mean, but it is what it is. Next, we're going to talk about Hailey Piper, who is another author that I follow on Twitter and also writes mostly novellas. And so far, everybody has been receiving them really well, and I really wanted to mention her in this video. Apart from her novella, she also has a lot of short horror stories, and she won the Bram Stoker Award for Queen of Teeth, her novella. I believe that one came out last year, and that is exactly the one that I am here to recommend you because I know that's the one that people have absolutely loved. In this book, basically, our main character discovers that she has teeth between her thighs, and she suspects that has something to do with a pharmaceutical corporation that obviously, after knowing what's going on, they're probably going to come after her. So that is basically our story. Is about a vagina dentata, and it's great. I love it. So definitely pick it up. This is a great way to start with her books. Now moving on to Joelle Gomez, because I had to mention her here since not only is she an author, but she's also a cultural worker, and she has spent her life fighting for equality and equal rights. So it is something amazing that she's doing, and a lot of people have loved a book that she wrote about vampires, and you guys know I love vampires, so I had to mention this book and recommend it to you guys. The Hilda Stories follows a slave in a plantation in 1850 that manages to escape the plantation, but then is captured by a group of vampires that kind of, you know, teach her their ways of life, etc., and also end up turning her into one of them. I know that a lot of people have really enjoyed this one, and if you have not read it yet, I strongly recommend you to pick it up. And now let's go to Australia. We have Aaron Dries, and he says that he loves to write horror because he loves, you know, the opportunity to be able to scare people. And his first published novel, House of Sights, already got an award, and this is another author that it is quite new to me that I need to read a little bit more of. House of Sights takes place in 1995, and we have a group of strangers that are trapped in a bus with a driver that it is holding them at gunpoint. And the driver, well, she takes them to her family's house, which seems to be a group of deranged people, so it kind of reminds me, you know, of House of the 1000 Corpses, stuff like that. And yeah, this is an author that I really want to explore a lot more because I didn't know so much about him, but when I did the research for this video, I found him, and I really need to get to his books. I also read a comment of someone saying that he wrote this book actually with the chapters, with the number of the chapters going backwards, so when you're getting to the end, you're getting kind of you know, stressed out because you know the time is running out for the characters, probably for the story. So I thought that was a really kind of unique concept and idea, so I really need to get to this one. So this was my list of 7 queer horror authors. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found at least one author that you didn't know of, or 1 or 2 books that you would like to add to your TBR pile. If you know of any other horror queer authors, let me know in the comments down below. I would like to make a part 2 of this video in a little bit of time, and, you know, be able to mention other authors that need also some recognition. I hope that you enjoyed it, and as always, you guys, thank you so much for your support, and I hope to see you all in our next coffee time. Bye!